Om Namo Narayana, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivam, Shivaham, Om. Welcome to another Satsang with your host, Chuck the Yogi from the Yogi Cave. During this wet and somber day, let us continue with the Shiva Sutra. So where was I? 3.17 Svama Tranir Manama Padayati. Translation: such a yogi can bring about the manifestation of objects according to his capacity. Commentary: this talks about, once again, the amazing ability to concentrate that the yogi has. He can bring any object into manifestation that he wishes. This power is amply proven. 10,000 years ago, humans were mainly hunters and gatherers. Today, most humans live in cities. Cities, along with its technology, is the power of manifesting an idea into reality. The problem is that most of these jivas are concentrated in problem solving about sandbox problems. They're not interested in leaving the sandbox. Jai Makan. So that is the difference between a yogi and an average jiva, is that the jiva is focusing on problems, sandbox problems. It's not focusing on the exit plan. And the yogi is very much focused on the exit plan. So there's that. 3.18 Vidya Avinashe Janma Vinashaha. Translation: when limited knowledge is destroyed, the cycle of birth and death comes to an end. Commentary: this is the final liberation for the jiva as he merges with Shiva. For the dualist, the final end is an endless contemplation of deity in some heaven, or state of mind, or what have you. This does not suffice for the yogi. He wants all or nothing. For as you go up the wheel of fortune up into heaven, so you shall go down the wheel of fortune into hell. Such are the ups and downs of the sandbox. Jai Makan. So the yogi understands the nature of reality itself and is not satisfied with having a 5-star hotel suite for a while in what would be called Svarga, or heaven, among Christians and Hindus, because everything within the sandbox is temporary. And the yogi understands that. Is very, very, very aware of that. The Buddha always talked about the impermanence of things, right? And the Buddha was a yogi. So the focus of a yogi is find a way out of the labyrinth, out of the sandbox. That's the focus. It isn't looking beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, that look beautiful, but that is just a side thing. It's not the main goal of the yogi, right? Let's see. 3.19 Kavargadishu Maheshvar Yadyayaha Pashu Mataraha. Translation: the yogi should be aware or beware of the different ruling Shaktis who are inherent in the alphabet. Through ignorance, the yogi may still be deceived by these Shaktis. Commentary: when this occurs, a yogi may become a low sorcerer, they call a black magician, and use mantras to effect certain changes in the sandbox, being thus allured and entrapped by Shakti through her Maya of abstract concept. So it is with philosophers, sophists, priests, ministers, fundamentalists who become bewitched by the power of words. Jai Makan. So this can happen to anybody. Words can deceive. Words can lead astray. Words are power. And the yogi understands this. It doesn't mean that the yogi is afraid of using that power, but it's about using it and not being used by it. See, that's very important. And the yogi always keeps that in mind. Anyway, let's move on. 3.20. Trishu chaturham tailavad asecham. Translation: 3 states of waking, dream, and deep sleep should be poured into the 4th state, like an uninterrupted flow of oil. Commentary: this means that the yogi should merge his alpha-beta mind with his delta-gamma-theta mind. In so doing, the yogi is no longer deceived by appearances. He renders the veil that separates Jiva from Shiva. Jai Mahakal. So the point of this is to, again, what comes to mind for me is the Devanagari symbol for Om, which is like this, right? That bottom part. So we're talking about the 3 states of mind. We can also say this is the body, the soul, and spirit, but we can also say that this is the alpha, beta state of mind, alpha state of mind, beta state of mind, alpha state of mind, delta gamma state of mind, and whatnot. And so the state of mind that is beyond all these, which moves from gamma, theta to something even beyond that, through a synergy of all these other vibrations, brain waves, and whatnot. This is what we're talking about. This little bowl here on the top of the Om symbol. This is what the yogi is aiming for. But in order to achieve that, there has to be a synergy of all these different brain waves to concentrate them like a laser in order to allow the yogi to move beyond what is normal in a human being. And this can be proven and has been proven for decades in the laboratory, although I would add that our instruments are limited, so there's only so much that we gather from these instruments. And this is where the yogi moves beyond all that, into that state beyond the normal states of mind. Anyway, 3.21. Magnaha svachitena pravishit. Translation: the yogi should plunge his mind into the self, with a capital S. No explanation needed for this one, because it's just an elaboration of everything I've said so far. The idea is to find a way out, and not just to play within the sandbox and building castles, and that's all fun and all that. So, but it's about ultimately moving beyond that and getting to that point beyond the sandbox that has no explanation and no description. 3.22. Prana samachare samal darshanam. Translation: when the prana is balanced, one attains equal vision. Commentary: pranayama is a practice by which the yogi equalizes the solar and the lunar channels, which in Sanskrit are called Ida and Pingala, through alternate yogic breath, which I'm not going to get into. This external practice helps bring harmony to the central or Sushumna channel. This in turn may bring a state of samarasa, or sameness, equal harmonious vision, of perception in the yogi. Jai Mahakal. So it's about the yogi understands breath as a outward manifestation of energy currents, and it's imperative for the yogi to be able to have these in balance in order to quiet the waves, the energy waves, in order to see better what's lying in the deep of the ocean of oneself. So again, I'm not going to get in too deep into pranayama and all that. What I will say is that it's an essential component of the yogic process. 3.23, and we'll leave it here. Madhye bara prasabaha. Translation: if the yogi who has attained the turiya state, remains satisfied with the delight he experiences at the beginning and end of that state, and does not proceed to the state beyond Turiya, Turiyatita, which would be in Sanskrit, his consciousness can revert to the lower states in the middle. Commentary. Turiyatita is a state beyond Turiya state. So within using the symbol of Om, you have that plate on top, that would be Turiya, and that dot on top of that bowl would be Turiyatita, which in quantum parlance you can call it the singularity. The yogi must remain in that state, or he is liable to be seduced once again by Maya and fall into lower states of yogic power or lower black sorcery. Such are the pitfalls that plague the yogi. Jai Makan. So until that's achieved, that state beyond all states, that stateless state, then the yogi there's always a potential of falling back and being seduced by Maya once again to play with sandboxes, to build sandcastles in the sandbox forever and ever and ever. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So mull on that for a bit. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivam. Shivaham. Jai Ma. Jai Mahakal. Till next time.